intercepted bus drives over a buckling road in North Philadelphia. You can see the dip in the street, and just minutes later, the road gives way. This is astounding video here, forming a giant sinkhole. And now neighbors are frustrated about the mess and demanding answers.
Watch the right side of your screen. A tractor trailer carrying lumber overturned, losing its load on a Pennsylvania overpass. That wood flew off and then down onto incoming traffic below. Now, dashboard camera caught the debris slide as it pushed a car off the road. Happened on Tuesday in Harrisburg. Fortunately, no one was injured. The road was closed as crews took about 4 hours to clear out that debris.
You're listening. Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB. With Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car. Open your mouth.
Close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, the only show that thinks the refs are going to cheat in the Super Bowl, but only so that they can help the Eagles win. As always, I'm Christian Bladt. Over there, adjusting his camera, his mic, and his broken door, my friend Eric Zane. How are you, sir? Okay, I'm not hearing you. So did you mute your microphone? Or...
Oh, that's better. That's how we do it.
That is how we do it. He's wearing a radio station sweatshirt, and he doesn't even know how microphones work.
Right. Well, that's how I roll here. Did you notice that I am now known as the Mud Shark?
Yeah, it does say. It does, in fact, say that you're the Mud Shark. I think somebody else is laying claim.
No, I took it.
You took it. That's good.
I did take it.
Well, I think it's great, and I think if you put a half-hour special on Dry Bar, you would have many more views than the actual Mud Shark.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I oftentimes you'll say we're doing it. Is that making fun of him?
Yeah, we're doing it. We're having fun. We're doing it. And Kevin Brennan says that sometimes, and I think he forgets that it was to make fun of Chad, but now he says, "Yeah, we're doing it."
Yeah, I never knew that. I just happened to this week. I put on one of Chad's shows. And one of the big things about podcasts that I tend to listen to, how long is it before they actually start talking about something interesting? And I took the whole shower, dried off, put my lotion on, and he was still like fucking around. He didn't really get into anything.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. It's like when you do a podcast, most people will give you about 20 seconds. And if it's shitty, they hate it. They're not going to listen,
Well, we've been on for over a minute, and I think people have decided that whether we're shitty or not. But I want to know, how many minutes into the show that you watched did you hear this?
Thank you. Please clap. I force applause breaks. I force them.
Did it take a little bit, or
He didn't. I didn't hear it, unfortunately.
That's shocking. No. So before we dive into our show, we've got about 20 minutes of bullshit, but all right, a little bit less than that. But I want to remind everyone that EZ and I will be joining you for the second straight year right here on this very YouTube channel, the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. We'll be spending halftime at the Super Bowl with anybody who's interested. We've got fun. We've got surprises. And you can look for us right here. And I will officially announce for the first time that we will be showing a cameo from Stuttering John Melendez that has never been seen publicly. And we'll be joined by some friends to look at that. I've got some mirth sent my way from Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Literally, as I'm starting the show, I got like 10 texts from him. So we've got plenty of jokes that we can share from Jackie and more surprises. I'm excited. And, everybody can tell me what happened during the Super Bowl halftime show. So I hope everybody checks that out over there. But more important than what we'll be doing on Sunday at halftime is Super Chats. Eric, how do Super Chats work on this show?
Well, they work in a very easy way. If you want Christian to sign off with something terrible, like how much he loves that Elon Musk is running the country and giving his heart to us, you can do that. You just write it in the Super Chat and put a dollar amount, minimum $10. Yes, and the one that has the highest dollar amount is what Christian will sign off the show with. You can then clip his words and use them against him in any way possible. It's really outstanding. And so that's one way you can do it. Or if you're like, God damn it, these guys have really made this show hum and they're doing an outstanding job and it's so funny and I love them and they're so handsome, then you add a dollar amount and throw it onto your Super Chat and say whatever the fuck you want. And then we take your money and we put it in our pockets.
Right, exactly. By the way, Dwyer Christian says, love the frosted tips. They're not frosted if it's just my naturally gray hair peeking through. But I appreciate that. And by the way, don't be a Norf 7878. Says don't give any money to these grifters. Look, we are many things. We give a lot of free content. We even read the free chat. Sam Bibley would like to know why. And he's saying you shouldn't give pennies to grifters. I disagree. We will take your pennies. We would love your pennies. Please send them our way. We love the interaction from people. And as we're talking, of course, we do always, if the free chat, if the poor chat makes us laugh, we will bring it up.
Right.
But please give us some money. Although our buddy Sam Bibley points out that he's barred from giving money by his religion, but he thinks we're nice. All right. And we have to shout out the famous Flat Cat Jessica. Where were you, Bladtcast? Where were you, Flat Cat? Great to see you in here. And I disagree with Gonzo that our show sucks. And even if it did, I would never, ever send Joey C.
Who's Joey C?
All right. That's going to go on the list of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know any of this dumbass Dabbleverse.
No, you know who Steel Toe is, but I still have to get you caught up on what's going on.
Oh, is that the guy who's got a disability?
Well, no, that's Joey C. The chat can tell you. Does he have a disability? Maybe.
Okay. All right. Thank you to Dust Cloud, by the way. He threw $1.99 our way. He's a goddamn champion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to do 7 shows today. Each one's going to be 2 hours just so we can keep the grift going. Thank you, Dust Cloud, for getting it started. Everybody else, StreamYard, Venmo, Streamlabs, Super Chats, memberships, gifted memberships, JFK Head Chunk. I'm not going to use that word if it's not in a super chat, but Joey C is full R word. So we appreciate that. And Mistress Meg with a $1.99 super sticker. Thanks for the $2, Mistress Meg. We appreciate it.
I love women who call themselves a mistress. That is just sexy to me.
Now that does seem like something that it would really make your dick stir if only it worked.
Right. It's useless. I'm like a Game of Thrones character. It's fucking horrible. Ramsay Bolton cut my dick off.
All right. Well, enough cock talk for now. We'll get to it later. Let's get to what everybody came here for.
WATV, who are these bears? Who are these bears?
A little earlier, Dwyer Christian said, no cash, no bears. I'm going to make with the bears. I'd like to see some cash, but Domino's Pizza located in my butt for $1.01.
I don't know if that is the super chat.
Oh, is it? No, it is. It came up
It
as
is?
a super chat. Yeah.
Okay.
I know it looks like it might just be somebody's name as
Yeah.
$1
All
or
right.
$1.01.
Sorry.
Which now that's a sneaky way to do it, to make your name Eric Zane $5.99. So listen. We've been doing bears for a long time, kind of since the start of the show. We broke it off into its own segment, and we've heard your complaints about how we only focus on certain kinds of bears. Our clips almost exclusively focus on brown bears and black bears. And, you know, Eric, it's a different America out there right now. I don't want to be accused of being a DEI Bears clip show. I think that that's not something that we really need to start off the new year with.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So by popular demand, by the insistence of so many people out there, we're going to start off our bear segment with one of these bears.
Louisville Zoo's male polar bear Bo last year. He's ready to meet his mate, Kanye, which means that we could soon get some cubs. The zoo tells us that the two have been gradually introduced to one another under the watchful eye of experts, and now officials tell us that Kanye is showing signs that it's okay to remove the physical barriers between the two, which is just in time for what zoo experts call courting season.
Okay.
So I want to know a lot more about courting season. Eric, you did notice that the female polar bear is much smaller.
Oh, yeah. It's like Shaq and his first wife, you know?
She's not going to be able to get away. It's kind of like there's a reason that when they introduce them, that there's a barrier, you know. So it is going to be time very soon to head down to the Louisville Zoo for some bear fucking. Probably not yet. But you might want to call and check ahead. Maybe they have a bear cam there. I would hope that they loop some 70s porno music to get everybody in the mood. But you know, that's just my own personal kink.
You know, they often talk about how polar bears are probably the most deadly of all the bears.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it because you don't see them showing that side of it until you see video of them destroying a baby seal or any seal. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's woke Eric Zane right there, talking about how the white one is the most dangerous.
Absolutely.
I find it to be the most cuddly and trustworthy. But let's see what else is going on with these polar bears.
We started seeing some of the behavior signs we look for from female polar bears that lets us know she would be okay if we open the door.
Yeah,
So-
like bleeding from her vagina.
Right. That is one sign. I assume that she's showing up to dinner at a fancy restaurant with no panties on.
Look at that look on his face. That's the smile of a guy who's stuck his whole arm up a polar bear's twat.
And then while the other arm is up in an arsehole, as our buddy Hughes would say. So let's look at the whole picture here. So yeah, Ron Evans. Look, they say, Eric, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And this guy has definitely been arm deep in polar taint.
So yes, we saw they do a chuffing sound. It's a really interesting sound when you can hear it.
Do the sound.
Rolling on
Do the
right
sound.
next to Bo.
And polar bear mating season at the zoo is usually spring and summer, but in the wild, it can happen anytime from March to June.
Yeah, because in the wild, there's nowhere to run, and every season is fucking season. I think is what they're
I always
trying
feel
to say.
bad at zoos. You ever go to a zoo and then let's go to the zoo, and then you get there and you fucking feel bad,
Well, interestingly enough, and if we did banter on this show, it might have come up, but that's for her, these socials. They get to do the banter. I took my son to the zoo over the weekend. We had a great time. And the reason why I had no bad feelings about the zoo is that there were animal rights protesters screaming outside the entrance to the zoo.
Were there?
Using lots of language that I was just like, I mean, my son's 9. He's heard it, but I'm like, this is really uncomfortable. So I was determined to really enjoy the zoo because they didn't want me to. So that was my big fun.
You're gonna talk shit to the caged animals now because of these assholes outside of the zoo.
Maybe. So look, a lot of people do enjoy zoos. What does Mistress Meg say there?
She says, or he says, I don't know. I'm guessing it's a woman. Polar bears drink Coke. How bad can they be? Okay.
I mean, I didn't know. They drink Coke. I wonder what else they might do. If they do drink Mountain Dew, I can think of someone's brother who would be very interested in hearing more about that. So listen, I know that some of you were glad that we finally got to the polar bears, and I'm going to give you the trigger warning that you're about to see some mixed bears. You might want to look away, but this is a really big deal in Washington, D.C., that something has come back to town after being away for a while.
Pandas Bao Li and Qing Bao making their official public debut on Friday at the Smithsonian National Zoo. The pair slipping and sliding in the snow. And
so, do you think that? Do you think panda bears like ska? Because
New Orleans jazz.
Yeah, a little New Orleans jazz with a ska flair. Because I would assume that one of the things they like about being in China is that there's no ska. But
okay, now here you have, looks like the black representative from DC giving the key to the city.
Yes.
Yeah, another black guy here. And I'm guessing that's a black guy wearing that white bareface outfit. Is this some type of white face incident? Can we?
Well, yeah, because that worker was going to go to the bank for a home equity loan, and he knew the only way that he would be able to get it is if he showed up in whiteface. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries.
Winning over crowds in a wintry, cold Washington. You had to come here on a day when it's 18 degrees instead of waiting till the summer, right?
Oh yeah, I mean this is the first day I can come see them. So
is that his question?
Yeah. Wow. There were more questions, but did you feel like you need to see an animal in the cold weather and not like, let's go to the zoo when it's not 18 degrees.
Right. If there's anything in the world that is worth where morons gather to see it at first, I don't give a shit. I've said this before on my show. If baby Jesus comes down and is walking on water, I'm going to wait until everybody leaves before I go and see him. I'm not interested in the crowd.
It's the way that I talk about music festivals. I don't want to stand out there and see 10 bands. I'd rather go to like 6 separate concerts where I can see the band that I want, probably from a seat.
I
it's
hate
fine.
concerts. They always sound like fuck. They do a stupid version. You know, they'll end up doing an acoustic version of a song you don't want to fucking hear in the first place.
Well, I'm going to make it my mission to go to a Bob Dylan concert with you where you literally can't tell what songs he's playing because one, he could never sing. He's worse now and he changes the tempo and everything. So you literally have no idea what song he's doing. It'll be fun. We could start we could do a WATB meetup there. I don't even know if he still plays live. Let's get back to the Panda Bears for a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've always been special. I've loved them since I was a kid.
Oh.
So, I needed to show that lady because I remembered in my notes that if ever there was somebody who, let's just say, used a stuffed polar bear on their special place,
right?
I think we might be looking at one right now.
Absolutely, and the polar bear is more ripped than she'll ever be, and because she's lived her whole life trying to look like a polar bear.
Yes. Now, look, I want you to tell me if you think this is a reasonable amount of excitement for 2 grown men discussing polar bears.
Panda Express landed at Dulles. We could hardly bear to wait any longer.
Wanted to let that joke breathe for a second. On the screen, it's talking about pandemonium, and he said we couldn't bear any longer. How much are you enjoying our panda segment, Eric?
Well, every time we have a news story like this, there's always somebody who has to bust this out. It seems like that's part of the news playbook, it seems.
Yes, it is.
Especially right across the street from the National Zoo in Woodley Park.
We've basically redone the entirety of Duke's Counter into the Bamboo Bar. It's a full expression of celebration, love, joy, and welcome for the giant pandas across the street.
So you, Carl, and I are on a text thread. Let's just pretend for a second we were all in the same city. And I said, hey, guys, you want to meet up at the Bamboo Bar? What do you think your response would be?
Fuck you.
Yeah, short and to the point, though. I'd at least appreciate it. Yeah, so.
No bamboo burgers, but there is bamboo in your mule.
These guys look like twins, but one has hair.
Right, exactly. Yeah, one of them's a white nationalist.
Right.
The other one.
I mean, it's like it's weird. It's like AI. He just made another version of him minus hair.
Yeah, well, or it's probably the other way. This is like his VR version of himself when he still had hair, and he's talking about how there's bamboo in the drink.
Slices of bamboo. Tommy drinking again. We love that.
I'm an intrepid journalist.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's basically candied bamboo. Delicious. And then we've
acquired
got,
taste.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Awesome.
So the guy's trying to sell his drinks, and he's like, this one's a bit of an acquired taste. He's like, no, it's delicious. We're doing a fluff piece here, son of a bitch.
We've got drinks for kids. We've got the panda colada back here.
Sorry.
Dwyer
I had to stop because of Dwyer Christian's comment.
He writes tasty cum.
Yeah. By the way, that reminds me, promo code WATP if you go to hackamania.com to get tickets for Back to the Hack. So, panda coladas, there's all this stuff going on.
Got the Don't Forget the Red Panda cocktail.
Sorry, the Lion and the Cub podcast are asking, what is this? Homo TV.
So stupid yet so funny,
Yeah. I'm enjoying these guys. I'm not going to the Panda Bar, but they did.
The OGs know Rusty the Red Panda.
Exactly.
So they're shouting out their panda lore, and this bit goes on for a while. But I think just in case you didn't hate this enough yet, let's see how they close out this local news piece.
Chance to love on these new bamboo munching besties. Some people are taking this whole panda thing pretty seriously. In Woodley Park, I'm Tommy McFly. News 4.
Those guys sucked each other off so hard after that news story.
I believe that there's probably some hand stuff already happening in this shot. Is there a dollar amount where I could get you to put on that Panda Bear hoodie?
Sure, $10. I'll do it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I really thought there was going to be a little bit more of a negotiation here, but happy to do it. So anyway, so look, this is what happens when we step out of our comfort zone when it comes to, the usual bears that we see. And, we're just trying to diversify a little bit. We want to diversify our portfolio. And by the way, speaking of Dwired Christian, he posted in our Discord, he felt like you and I should actually do the show in these costumes. I know that our audio audience can't see it, but we know which of us will be in the white bear suit, and the other will be in the brown, and then the black bear can just.
I would, as long as we could raise the money. So if we hit a certain level of people giving us their hard-earned dollars, then we would do it.
All right. Let's see. We're going to set the goal. Why doesn't the chat tell us what we think the goal should be?
No, fuck that. It's $1,000 for each of us.
Okay.
In one show.
It's funny. It was only $10 to get you into a panda hoodie, but to do an entire show, that's I like the a la carte menu that Eric Zane operates.
Yeah. It's
so,
you never know. You never know. It just take it as it comes, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've had.
What does this mean? Does this mean like this guy gave us $2?
So Silent Shape is just saying $2.
Oh, he's just saying $2.
Saying $2. Thank you, Silent Shape. Great to see you in here. Yes, just saying that if we hit $2, we do a whole show dressed as bears. I like EZ's goal of $1,000 each, and that's cash. All right, I don't want to be paid in Bitcoin. All right, I think it's the least we can ask for. All right, well, let's keep things local and head on over to local news.
WATB, who are these local news? Who are these local newscasters?
What does he say there, our buddy Hamilton Berger?
He throws some $2 Canadian Canuck pesos to make WATB furries.
WATB furries. We appreciate that very much. And what does Dust Cloud have to say?
Dust Cloud says that the stingers are way too loud. I disagree. They need to be louder.
I'm good. Just for Dust Cloud, I'm going to make them much louder.
Yeah, you can't just because you have a bad computer setup. It's perfect. We had all of this tested by Christian knows a lot of famous people, and Rick Rubin came in here.
Yes, I did. Yeah. No shoes on, of course. Yeah.
That this level is fine. Yeah. So if you're going to sit around from your fucking armchair and armchair quarterback us to death, just let us. I'm telling you, Rick Rubin told us the stingers are fine, so you can suck our dicks when it comes to stinger volume.
And we got a second opinion. Phil Spector also told us they were great, and I don't think you want to disagree with him.
No.
Look what happens when you disagree with Phil Spector.
Right on.
So over in Missouri, a demolition for a water tower did not quite go the way it was planned.
Yeah, there ain't no stopping it now.
Love that we have this on the ground reporting from this guy.
Oh, no.
He's like guy there.
Oh, no.
Hear it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Watch out.
Watch out. He's a little late on the watch out.
Literally, my favorite part of the video is that after it's fallen, he says, watch out.
God damn it.
I tried so hard to find it where it wasn't bleeped, but I had to settle for this version because I really wanted that. This
idiot.
is Larry Smith via Storyful. What were you going to say? What kind of idiot?
Typically, when they do these, implosions or something like this, it's the best engineers are determining, and they usually goes flawlessly. I'm shocked at how badly they fucked that up.
Well, it is Missouri. Does that change your opinion at all?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty, I guess so. If you say so, I have no idea.
All right. Well, that's fair. So we've had a couple of plane accidents over the last week. It's only been 7 days since we did our last show. I think there have been 3 that are worth talking about, but here's a witness to one of them. in Philly. And this gentleman wants to make sure we get all the important information.
How loud was it? Like, did it shake you?
I guess definitely would say it was like minor earthquake-ish. Like, it was just real surprising. Definitely minor earthquake-ish.
And talk about, I mean, we've seen the videos. The fire was pretty explosive.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yes, it lit up the whole sky. Literally lit up the whole sky. Like, it was daytime out here. And it's literally, what time is it? 7:15?
Were you scared at all? Did you, like, start running or take some steps back? Like, or did you stop in your tracks?
I was driving, so I was coming out of Wendy's.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a good 4 for 4. Shout out to Wendy's.
What do you say?
You got a 4 for 4. Shout out to Wendy's.
4.
I love that because he's like, somebody at Wendy's might see this. So yeah, I was coming out of. By the way, it's the second time he mentions Wendy's. The earlier reference was like a full minute and a half before this, so I just wanted to get the one in there. But
I had my
like,
fingers crossed that the plane hit the house of the Philly fanatic John Domingo. I was hoping that
I thought
that
you meant
happened.
the actual fanatic.
I hate that fucker.
You hate the fanatic, or you hate John Domingo?
No, John Domingo. He calls himself the Philly fanatic. So
well, he's kind of built like the Philly fanatic.
yeah, a little bit. The Philly fanatic is better muscle tone than John.
Well, I'm sure that with that that tongue that extends, the Philly fanatic is able to please himself in ways that that Domingo could only wish.
Could only dream about.
So this next story made me think of you because it seemed like something Eric Zane would do.
Pelkey has taken finger pointing to a whole new level with this 7-foot-tall wood carving of a middle finger salute mounted on a 16-foot pole. This isn't road rage. This is rage against Westford, Vermont town officials. For a decade, the town has refused to give Pelkey a building permit to relocate his recycling business onto his own commercially zoned property.
So that'll tell you what you need to know about states like Vermont. I live in a state that's very similar to Vermont in some ways. Well, we're not going to, help you zone your business to put it somewhere else, but we can't make you take down a gigantic metal finger. We have to let you leave it up.
And that reporter, Jeannie Moe, surprisingly, she used the finger to stick in her vagina.
Didn't realize that was Jeannie Moe.
Basically, I could have stood out by the road and screamed something. Nobody would have listened, right? The statue's up there not saying a word. Boy, it's working good.
Lights are trained on it 24/7. Motorists on Route 128 can't miss it.
Way to go.
I think it's beautiful. I wish I had one.
So I think that most people are mistaking it for a huge cock. That's that's what those reactions are telling me, Eric. No, it's actually just a middle finger, So, but anyway, I'm sure I could have found a still photo where it wasn't blurred, but I wanted to kind of get everybody's thoughts in there. Talking about destruction, I wanted to make sure to get one of these. We saw one. It was a lumber truck that that flipped over. We saw that during the countdown part of the show. But here's another one of these citizen journalists, like the guy watching the water tower fall down. It just gets out. Guy runs out of the car. And wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, outstanding.
And what I like about that video and the water tower is that I really feel like our friends who just check out the audio version of the show, they get it. You can hear it. It's such a pronounced sound. You could do sound design and try and make those effects. Chad's missing upper lip. Looks like Zane on a Saturday night getting a train ran on him. Thank you, Chad's missing upper lip. That is that's our resident mud shark. And because we enjoyed that one, let's get one more. So you can see that this is the one I thought I was playing first because you hear this guy talking. So
Okay.
there's a train here. Okay.
He was in that cab.
So let's see it. That's kind of giving away the ending here.
He was in the cab.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did he?
So yeah, did he get out? That's the key. So we've got the tractor trailer, and I can't find the part where.
So let me guess. when you queued this up, you thought you had it queued up, and now you don't have it queued
I don't actually have it queued up, yeah. But we see that I see it right here, you know. So here it is. Okay.
Are they gonna be able to stop?
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Nope.
He's not stopping.
They ain't gonna be able to stop.
Nope. Nope.
Oh my
Able
god.
to stop.
Nope. He's not going to stop. Oh,
He's
man.
not going to stop.
Oh, man.
Holy. And it hit a Dean's
Wow.
ice cream truck. It's ice cream that goes fucking
He was
flying
in that
everywhere.
cab,
No, I'm sure that he got out, whoever that guy was. Yeah. So look, I might have fucked up where that was queued to, but I think I paid it off.
No, that's fine. I could sense you were. I was like, I think he's covering. I think okay. All right.
Just a little, you know, it's all right.
Let's see here. Chad's missing upper lip says one less arrest for ICE.
All right. That's
The
Chad.
Wire says that train was carrying illegals to America.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there's a one-track mind here for our friends here on WATB. All right. Well, you know, we are kind of in the thick of award season. So let's head on over to who are these award shows. And don't worry, this jingle's going to be perfectly quiet.
Who are these award shows? Who are these award shows?
I wish it was louder.
It will be. Don't worry. I'm going to talk to Doug. And I was just like, do you think that it could possibly go up to 11? So I don't have much from the actual Grammys because the real stories happened on the red carpet. But I've got a couple of really quick clips. This is Beyonce winning for Country Music Artist of the Year. And the look on her face, I think, says it all. She's like, no, that can't possibly be right. Just, you know, and I don't think she's a good enough actress that she's faking it, you know.
Look at those tits.
Well,
they're like flying out of there. That is amazing.
Look, they gave her an award. It just might have been for the wrong thing, you know.
And then that monster husband of hers. God, look at him. What an animal.
I stopped myself from making the same joke I made last year. That there was a Muppet that he looked a lot like. I was gonna pull the picture again, and I was like, I did. Clifford from Muppets Tonight. Yeah. So I was like, I did that last year. But now that I'm saying it, I should have just grabbed the picture and pretended that I didn't remember. So in any case, here's one other moment from here. So that is Beyonce shocked that she won something. Hamilton Berger asked the question, Gazy? We don't know. Allegedly, that's up to you, Hamilton Berger. So Diana Ross is presenting for Artist of the Year. So Beyonce shocked she won for country. Diana Ross very surprised when Beyonce did not win for Record of the Year.
Goes to
She opens it.
Kendrick Lamar.
It's such a little thing. It's just she's just like,
yeah,
Kendrick Lamar. All right.
I didn't know she was still alive.
I didn't either. There was a whole standing ovation. The problem was that she doesn't look great, but she doesn't look bad enough that I wanted to really spend a lot of time on her presenting. You know, it's a fine line when you do a show like this.
A lot of people don't even know who she is at this point. When you're that old, that there's an entire generation of people who don't know who you are. That's bad. That means you're really old.
That means you're incredibly old. Yeah, like older than Zumach. That's how you know you're old. You're much too old. All right. So on the red carpet, the Associated Press is talking to the music producer Babyface. They're in the middle of asking him a question, and then this happens.
About just the rise of women in R&B and the way they were really at the forefront. Can you talk about just this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
Got it.
Hello, how's it going, Chapel? Hello.
So they give a long, meandering ramp up to a terrible question. And he's like, all right, I'm going to answer it. You were nice enough to ask me. And then they see someone more famous. That's Chapel Roan. I don't know much about Chapel Roan, but this clip got so much attention that the Associated Press had to actually tweet this out after the fact. We are deeply sorry for cutting our interview with Babyface short on her YouTube live stream of the Grammys red carpet. We've apologized to him through his representatives and to our viewers on the live stream. But I'm sure that the interview with Chapel Roan was great, and it was well worth it.
I was waiting for when they had Babyface on there to start asking him questions like he's Wesley Snipes playing Blade, because that's what he fucking looked like when he was standing there.
So they should have asked him about killing vampires.
Right? How come you can walk around in the sun, but the other vampires can't? Jesus, I just fucked that up. Anyway, yeah, that was so awkward. And the fact that what was the ginger doing? She was like leaning down.
Well,
and
she's trying to get the other one's attention. I think that there's someone more famous. I did notice that. And I assume that's why she pushed her back, her no doubt sweaty back up against her.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, also rudeness on the red carpet can be a lot funnier than that. When Don Lemon, formerly of CNN, sees someone he knows, Kanye West.
An artist you want to put on right now? Give me a second, I'm focused. No interviews. No interviews.
So I'm going to try that. Give me a second. I'm focused. And I'm not focused on Don Lemon's Don Lemon bullshit.
Don Lemon's he looks so strange with those stupid fucking Disney World glasses on. Jesus Christ, what an odd looking dude.
He is an odd looking dude. And, I think that he was much happier when he was getting drunk in New Orleans on New Year's Eve on CNN, but those times are long gone now. And our friend Chad there with
he looks extra gay. He does look gay. There's no question. I mean, if gay had a face, that's it.
Well, I do believe he is the poster child for gay. I do believe
I know, but I mean,
that's what it is.
He just looks gay. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, Kanye wasn't done. We have some B-roll that we can show you of him and his wife walking on the red carpet. And they have Bianca Censori. Just because her last name is basically Censor doesn't mean that she has to dress like this. Again, this is really just for our visual audience who's getting to see these very generous circles because, look, I've seen other versions of this photo. There's a lot to blur out. You know what I'm saying?
This woman is doing this against her will.
Oh,
we are watching trafficking. This is what this is here.
Those three women that were kept in the basement in Ohio had more free choice than this woman does. And arguably they were with someone far more charming. They were.
This is so weird. I mean, it's never before. I mean, she, by the way, is near perfect. I mean, that
correct.
might be a perfect female form, in my opinion.
Yes,
it's remarkable how she is proportioned, but it just feels like I'm looking at a rape happening right now. That's what I felt like I was looking at.
Yeah, it is definitely a very long form kind of forced everything. I think
just weird.
She started out not even liking his music, and just look what's happened to her.
I just felt bad looking at it. I was just like, what is going on with this asshole? Talk about somebody who really needs to die. It's Kanye West. Well, he needs to die.
Of natural causes.
Of course. He has to have a diabetic stroke.
Right. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Like if he died today, I'd be like, yes, fuck yes.
I'm the complete wrong generation to have any sense for why anybody gives a shit about Kanye. I don't have any appreciation for it, but I do want to share. I'm not going to lie. I had a little fun with this. I wanted to try and get a better view of her on the red carpet, and I'll make sure. I don't know. I hope our friend Carl is watching right now, but if not, I think that this could be a T-shirt with the WATP logo, preventing the bits that might get us flagged on YouTube. I'm very proud of myself on this, Eric. Maybe you're not.
I love it. I think this is great, and it's perfect for Carl too.
I think thinking about making this our new background. I'll have to see what it looks like.
Yeah, look at Carl.
Look at that, Carl's son. He loves
here.
it. See,
He's
this
in
is
the
the
peanut
screenshot
gallery.
right here. It's the three of us in our little boxes. It's whatever Sensori's name is. I've already forgotten it. So,
Hey, did you get your tax form, by the way?
I did. You want to talk about it?
No, I just got mine yesterday. I felt he does a good job. I mean, it's all like typed out and shit. It's very professional.
Yeah, it's almost like it's Carl's job to do this. And that he
knows
takes his
what's
job
up.
seriously. Unlike your buddy, the Mud Shark, who doesn't take it seriously. So this wasn't the end of all the shenanigans on the red carpet outside of the Grammys. Again, I don't care much about the Grammys, but and usually I don't cover red carpet stuff because it's never as interesting as this. So we're going to start off, and people might remember Willow Smith, Will and Jada's daughter. They remember her as a kid, whip your hair back and forth. She's grown up a lot. So we're going to take a look at her, how she felt it was appropriate to walk on the red carpet before her brother shows up. So if you wear like a 1987 bikini, but you throw like a long sport coat over it, it's art. It's fashion. So
She looks like a fucking retarded Klingon. Jesus Christ. Look at her. It looks like Worf's kid.
It's one of my 5 favorite things you've ever said. Worf's kid. So everybody's trying to get her attention. Look over here. Hey, Willow, please.
Oh, look at that face.
And then here comes Jayden.
Oh, my God.
How would you describe what Jayden's wearing? Because, again, we do have our audio-only audience, and we want to make sure that they don't miss out on the fun, Eric.
Well, on his head, he has what looks to be a old house. Like they constructed a house to put over his head like the way a football player would put on a helmet, except it's a big house.
It is indeed a big house. I think it's a castle per se because it's so big. So he dressed appropriately. He
has a nice
wore
suit coat on.
Nice suit, but he decided to throw in a house. And there are definitely a few places that had a little fun with this. Joann's stores, which used to be called Joann's Fabrics, decided to post on their Instagram how you might be able to actually make that. So they're letting you know what they sell: unfinished wood, dollhouse, and some Rust-Oleum painter's touch.
Paint,
so
that's it.
You
That's
can
all
make
you
that
need to
if
do.
you want to. And obviously, because I'm a huge nerd and I love the New York Mets, I saw Mrs. Met was trying this on. And, look, they're really having some fun at Jayden Smith's expense.
Which one's transgender?
I think
Wasn't one of them
No, I
transgender?
think there's a third kid. Okay. I could be wrong, but all 3 of them could be, but neither one of them is presenting themselves as transgender. I mean, unless Willow has always been a guy, and
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But if you want the be all and end all of opinions on things that happen on the red carpet, there's only really one place we can go, and that is Andrew Tate, who we've featured on the show before. He's an American British social media personality. He also considers himself a businessman, and he's a former professional kickboxer. If you want to add the word alleged, there's a whole lot of other stuff you would put after that. But that's mostly what he's known. He has a YouTube show, and he saw this. And I felt like he was speaking directly to Eric Zane as he was commenting on how Jayden Smith presented himself.
Full on his head. Explain this to me. Explain. There's a castle. Why do you have a castle on your head, Jayden? You know, people are just living inside the box, and they're living inside the castles in their mind because they're building these walls. And I just want to show everyone that, like, inside of their brain, they have these walls that they've put up themselves and are artificially that you're a faggot. You're a fucking faggot. No, because we're building walls around our mind, and no one can think outside the box. And you're a fucking faggot, Jayden.
Oh.
Take the castle off your fucking head. If your dad wasn't so busy simping, he'd beat the shit out of you.
Oh, dude.
Someone needs to beat the shit out of you, and your dad's too busy chasing pussy that doesn't want him. The worst thing about me insulting all these famous people is I'm going to meet them all. When I'm free, I'll be at the same event as them.
I just there's a lot of there's a reason that Andrew Tate hasn't left Romania in like 5 years. I don't think you're going to end up at an event with all these people.
If my daughter caught me laughing at those jokes, I would be so dead.
But it's my fault because you don't watch these ahead of time.
No, I don't.
I ambushed you.
You asshole! You what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'm accidentally. I'm about to close the video. I hope I don't accidentally play the rest of it.
And they'll be looking at me like, he made fun of me on an emergency meeting. And I'll be looking at them back like, yeah, nigger.
Oh!
I did.
Like I said, I was trying to close the video before we got to that point.
Dude.
So Andrew Tate had some very strong... Look, he had some strong opinions, Eric. I thought we should... The least we could do is shine a light on it. The man's a fugitive from justice. Wait, you're doing the stuttering John Elephant thing now?
Oh, my God.
Hamilton Berger, controversial take. The Smiths aren't good parents. Yeah, actually, on our Discord, Admiral Underpants said those Smith kids are the literal living embodiments of shouldn't have been born. Their parents hate each other so much. The kids are still having carefully orchestrated tantrums in public to show off the mental trauma of being brought up by them.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that that was really something. Labyrinth Mystic, you would describe him as retarded in that outfit. See, I said if you give me money, I'm happy to say that word. I'll say it on my own for free sometimes. We've got no more Andrew Tate until next week, but we've got a really quick talk show segment. We've got to tidy something up from last week.
WATB, who are these talk shows? Who are these talk shows?
Perfect decibels.
Yeah, I have
Perfect.
no notes, no complaints.
I love that.
I love all the songs. I will let you know we will be unveiling a new song on our Super Bowl halftime show that Doug sent me yesterday.
Yeah,
we have a "Who Are These Super Bowl" song.
Are the levels okay though?
Oh, they're like twice what we just heard.
Good.
So they're perfect.
If they're louder, they're better.
No, Doug records everything at the perfect volume. I decide to amp everything up because I want to rock out while we're doing
you
the
can't
show.
go too high.
You can never go too high. So last week we focused, some would say too much time, on the Howie Mandel show where Bill Burr was a guest and Billy Corgan came in. Now, since then, a few people have said that the whole thing really seems fake. My buddy Liam McEnany messaged me after he saw that, and he was just like, Billy Corgan has no sense of humor. He is not really capable of pulling something off like that. But then somebody else pointed out he owns a wrestling league, so he does like a nice work. So Rich Eisen had Bill Burr on, and he's going to try to get to the bottom of it, and we'll see what you think after.
You and Shane Gillis tonight going to raise some money. By the way, that was my way of just kind of bringing up Billy Corgan to you minutes ago when I asked if Ed Harris is going to go on a podcast and ask if you're acting like
is
your
that
brother.
what that was?
That's
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
was.
yeah. Well,
Was that? People want to know. Were you really pissed?
Huh? Listen, I don't like talk about
your stuff.
Yeah, I don't. And so like Howie did what he did.
Yeah.
So right there, he doesn't answer, were you really pissed? Because if this is a work, he's already tired of it. You know, he's like, I didn't think Rich Eisen was going to ask me about it. I thought he was going to ask, if I thought that the Chiefs were going to cover.
Can Bill at least just once not be so fucking relaxed and sit in a chair like a big boy on just one of these shows?
When he was younger, he was a lot less relaxed. I think that this is a very conscious decision.
Ugh.
Because he is a Hollywood whore. And he doesn't care what happens, that he just didn't.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
he could have said something and he just,
Just threw it out
brings
there.
up all that weirdness.
I have no
Billy's
idea.
fine. I mean, that's the first time I ever met him, but that was like fine or whatever.
He's a
But like,
diehard
I
sports
did
fan,
not
by the way.
appreciate, what Howie did. No, not
okay.
at all.
All right. So
Not at
then,
all. But he's like Howie, so he's like sort of hard to hate. You know what I
Right.
mean? How do you like hate a germaphobe? He's like not threatening.
So I don't know that we got an answer on this, but Bill is still perpetuating it because that was definitely his time. He's like, oh yeah, that was just fucking around for Howie's show. So I don't know. We may never get to the answers on this, Eric. Should I send that clip to Andrew Tate and see what he thinks of the Billy Corgan appearance with Bill Burr?
Well, he'd tell you exactly what's on his mind. But the thing about Bill on this is if he is serious, he's, him saying what's on his mind is totally cool. But if it is a work, he's also doing the right thing by not revealing that it's a work. He'd be fucking up everything for himself and for Mandel, So he's not going to say either way. There's no way anyone's going to know. It'll be a mystery. And I still think it was a fucking work.
I'm more in line with your way of thinking than I was a week ago. Well, I would like us to take some time and meet a new celebrity friend.
I'll be right to you. Who are these celebrity news? Who are these celebrity news?
So I have to shout out our great friend in the Discord, Reverend Shitstain Robo 9000, who wanted to make sure that we were brought up to speed on a rapper named Dank Demoss. And Dank Demoss is not someone that I think either of us would be familiar with, but she's gone viral because she posted this video, this interaction with a Lyft driver. We're going to start off with the video that she filmed talking to her Lyft driver. So it says right there on the screen, this MF said I can't fit in his car, so he got to cancel my ride, exclamation point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What? For what? What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space at mom. My car is small.
I can fit in this car.
So he says, you can hear, he's saying that my car is small. I don't have any space. She's like, I can fit in there.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
It's a great answer. Believe me, you can't. And she says, yes, I can. And I think that this is probably the correct time for the reveal, where I think people should really get a good look at Dank Demoss so they know King of all diffs says Zane finally gets a boner. I think he's about to. There she is. Definitely. Well, let's say she's doing her thing there, that is her at work, and here she, or a horse trailer. I think. JFK.
Yeah, she needs a horse trailer, or she needs a forklift.
Yeah,
she is.
That's a great one from JFK Head Chunk. JFK Head Chunk gets the most poor chats read.
Yeah, he does. My God, and the guy said, "My tires, you'll damage my tires." So she's. She's in the neighborhood of 5+ bills.
Oh yeah.
And it's like she'll be dead in weeks, probably.
Probably, but I hope she has a long, healthy life. There's a couple of ways to describe her for our audio audience. She does have, we're all familiar with what a camel toe is. She has a camel gut, and we've definitely heard the term gunt before.
Yes.
Both of those I think are appropriate.
Right.
And so I wanted to give a little bit of that background. We'll see a little bit more of her interaction with the Lyft driver. Again, Robo Shitstain sent me this. Big surprise, actually. This is in the Detroit area that this happened.
Right. This is the average woman in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, in Detroit, she's at least a 6, right?
All Detroit women look like this.
Yeah. So it's Well, they grade on a curve there, I think is what you're trying to say. And as I rewound it, you got to see her walking down the hall. We'll watch that again.
Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her lift rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like a
for the tires.
You know,
Sure.
like,
yeah, I mean, think about the tires would not be able to handle that. I mean, we saw his car. You know, it's not even a sedan. It seems like kind of a compact car. You know,
I picture this going to court since she's suing, and then like the Lyft driver gets the representatives from like Bridgestone, and he's like, no, true. Well, our tires aren't speed rated, but not fat rated.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
for every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car.
Because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
I think that you're the reason why they put the XL in Uber XL. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough. I get the money and flip it and make some food. Dank Demoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, like,
crushed.
It really hurt my
believe
feelings.
she said crushed.
Just imagine how that chair feels that she's sitting in right now.
It looks like a lift might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal, and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan.
What the fuck is going on in that state of yours? Is that really? Is that true? Is it just because of all the fat stuff?
What's funny is I know somebody who does gig work like this for a living. In fact, he's got a podcast, gig economy podcast, and I interviewed him. I go, what did they do wrong? He goes, well, we can cancel any ride we want. It's when you actually say you're too fucking fat.
Yeah.
That's when you have a problem. So he feels like this guy does have a problem, the driver, because he said, because he should have seen this wildebeest and just canceled and gave her the fucking finger and drove away. And there is no problem with that. That's totally legit. You can cancel for any particular reason. It's up to he doesn't like the way you look, but he told her she's a disgusting fat whore, and now in trouble.
What he should have done is point out that I don't think I have enough gas to get me where you're going. I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel the ride.
Yeah,
and then left. Let's hear a little more from her legal representation.
By law,
it would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, I don't want to have black people in my car.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Also, I feel like that probably happens more often than not. The Lyft driver is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run out of gas, so I can't take you to that neighborhood, sir.
I don't want to have
the way that lawyer looks. It's like he actually goes out of his way to look like greaseball lawyer with the way that stupid fucking Barry Melrose piece of shit grease mullet is.
He's got a very 90s crime boss look from a Jean-Claude Van Damme film. He's really got that all put together.
Christians in my car or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
The lawsuit is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
Dwyer Christian says she gets hit by a bus and she'll stop throwing rocks. I wanted to give a little bit more of a look for this is her filming a video. It's probably too much of the song. I'm not as much worried about being flagged for copyright as I am for damaging everyone's ears, so that's why I'm playing it on mute. But she's sitting in the hatchback, the back of some kind of SUV. That's the way she should be getting a lift.
Wow. Can you imagine? It's like she's got 15 twats on her leg.
Yeah, and I've got one more that I don't think this is going to help her cause either. And this is her on stage again. All right.
She fell.
I don't know. I've seen that so many times, and it always makes me laugh. So yeah, look, the Lyft driver, look, he's not being ridiculous. The Lion and the Cub podcast, who I don't think I've seen on here before today. Her pussy is by her ankles. Oh, wow.
You've had several comments today that made me laugh, but that's the first one that made the screen. God damn.
Well, thank you,
It's
everybody.
so true.
Yeah.
I mean, like 10 guys could have sex with her at the same time, just burying their crank in fucking leg meat.
10 guys could have sex with her at the same time and never meet.
Oh, it's so debilitating. God,
All right,
it's so
well,
unbelievable.
So I'll be keeping an eye on Dank Demoss because I'll certainly see her coming. Let's try to class things up a little bit. I'm not reading that one. You can read that. That one must have come up by accident.
Yeah, it was an accident. I didn't mean to hit that.
But you're not wrong, Dwyer Christian. Let's class things up. Whew. So thanks to Dank Demoss. And we're having fun, right, Easy? That's what we do over here.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're having fun. You know, if you keep this up next week, I might do a hype train. All right. But not just yet, but we're getting there. So look, we're going to do a little bit of like a medley of politics. If you're old fucks like me and Easy, you would call it the Cliff Notes. I don't think the younger generation even knows what those are.
I don't know that reference.
Yeah.
now.
So it was a big week in politics, but every week is a big week in politics now that Trump is back. Remember on this very show, we kept saying, it's going to be great for our show. It's just too much. But I do need to start with President Trump's comments almost immediately after a deadly plane crash at Reagan International Airport in Washington.
Which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg. A real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation? He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit.
Oh my God! Yes,
that is the Trumpiest Trump clip you can ever get.
Wow!
Starting with the simple fact that, of course, Pete Buttigieg resigned on January 20th because he's not in charge anymore.
Right.
And
right.
One of the criticisms is the fact that President Trump might not be staffing the FAA as quickly. But anyway, I have no notes on those comments other than the fact that it's not factually based. And,
he just hates that guy. And and I think that's what you say when you hate someone. You just say horrible things about him. So it's too bad that we live in a day and an age where when a sitting president has that moment, nobody even bats an eye. It's taken the shine off of these amazing things that we should, because it happens so much.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's why we're here to help everybody appreciate brilliant moments like that one. And, the air collision, of course, is a tragedy. It was preventable. And President Trump will try to explain how it could have been prevented.
You could have slowed down the helicopter substantially. You could have stopped the helicopter. You could have gone up. You could have gone down. You could have gone straight up, straight down. You could have turned. You could have done a million different maneuvers. For some reason, it just kept going.
Yeah, you could have. I want to make sure you followed that. You could have gone any other direction, but instead you went right where the plane was.
Right.
Why would you crash into it? So we appreciate that.
And we still don't know yet, do we?
No, we don't know. Here, President Trump has a quick response for what I'm going to admit is a really stupid question that he gets asked.
You plan to go visit the site or meet with any of the
I have a
first
plan
responders?
to visit, not the site, because you tell me what's the site? The water?
Or to meet
Want
with the
me to go
first
swimming?
responders down there?
We're going to go swimming?
We're going to go swimming. And I I would comment on that, except for the simple fact that Bill Maher perfectly nailed it on his show. So let's hear what Bill has to say on this.
Question about the crash. They said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water. What do you want me to do, swim there? You know? And I was like, exactly, fuck right. You're exactly right. It's a stupid question, and you got just the answer you deserve.
So yeah, that's sort of what you're talking about. Is like, yeah, we need to appreciate those little moments.
Right. You know, and I think that's, in all seriousness, that's one of the things that people really like about Trump is because he'll stick his finger right in your eye. And then he'll put it in the other eye too, and that doesn't happen on anyone else's watch ever.
No, absolutely not. Imagine what how Biden would have responded had this happened a month ago, and he was asked if he was going to go. You know, he would probably have told stories about how he used to be a lifeguard, actually, so that he would jump right in, if I had to guess. So there was a big story that obviously was going on, the fact that President Trump had these proposed tariffs that were put on hold for 30 days. Now, it depends on where you get your news from. Either Canada and Mexico caved into the pressure because they were scared of Trump, or possibly Canada and Mexico just said what Trump wanted them to say, and they're just like, well, we're just going to do the same shit we were doing starting like a month ago. In the case of Canada, that's what happened. But again, it matters where you get your news. It's not really that important. The tariffs are not in place, at least for 30 days. But before that happened, Chuck Schumer was looking out for all of us and all of our Super Bowl parties.
Take Super Bowl Sunday, okay? It's going to affect beer, okay? Most of it, Corona here, comes from Mexico.
So proud of this. He is so proud of this.
By the way, he does a great job in hiding that bald spot. But he should not be ducking down like this. If you're trying to convince people you still have your hair, this isn't really the thing to do.
No.
You notice Biden never ducked down like that because he's got like 10,000 hair plugs. So yeah. So as we all know, Eric, pretty much all beer comes from Mexico.
Right.
So that was going to be a problem. Right. And then he wants to make sure that he's covered everything.
It's going to affect your guac. Because what is guacamole made of?
Do you think he knew? Do you think he knew what guacamole was made from before one of his aides told him?
Avocados, both from Mexico.
Who was the dude that had to go get this shit at the local supermercado nearby?
Oh. Well, they did. Yeah, they definitely would have had to go to a supermercado.
Right. You can't just get that everywhere. I don't
no.
know.
You can't get Corona and avocados at every 7-Eleven in Washington, D.C. So I wanted to put a little perspective on the RFK Jr. confirmation hearings. This is a video that comes from a great account on X called Seinfeld 2000. Well, that's the address. It's Seinfeld Current Day. So it asked the question, what if Curb Your Enthusiasm was happening now?
Years ago, NIH.
So we see Cheryl Hines, who, of course, is RFK Jr.'s wife, sitting directly behind him.
20 years ago, NIH scientists did a study on amyloid, on Alzheimer's, which they said it was caused by amyloid plaque.
Just look at her eyes.
Outstanding. A little loud there, Christian.
Yeah, well, that one we didn't have spot checked by
that was good.
Rick Rubin.
I love that. I mean, holy shit, that is absolutely perfect.
So as we know, the rest of the Kennedy clan aren't really fans of Bobby, aka RFK Jr. But I'm going to say this seems particularly low, considering that this is a family who, they have allegations, including things like letting a woman drown and alleged rape claims and things like this. But even for that family, this is JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberg. He posted this video.
I'm trying to figure out the right present to get Donald Trump for the inauguration. So I found a really rare animal and killed it, and I'm going to give it to him.
Now, if your buddy the Mud Shark did that, I'd be like, all right, at least he's trying. But I don't know that Jack Schlossberg really needed to make this video. But we've all attempted that voice. It's not that hard to do, the RFK Jr. voice, but it just felt particularly shitty, and that's why I wanted to share it.
It did feel particularly shitty.
And I once spent 12 minutes of this show going through all the crazy bullshit that RFK Jr. has done.
Yeah, when I see stuff like that, I kind of love RFK Jr. I mean, he gets points for that.
Yeah,
because that was so horrible.
It was pretty terrible. All right, we've got one more. Kash Patel is Trump's FBI nominee. I was a little surprised, but I did always think he was really funny on Parks and Rec, so good for him if he's able to get confirmed. Let's see if he brought anything interesting to his confirmation hearing.
To a direct and significant threat on my life. And I put that information in the record. I had to move. In that threat, I was called a detestable, and I'll apologize if I don't get it all right, but it's in the record, a detestable sand nigger who had no right being in this country.
And that was just on the Discord for our show.
That's just from Kumia's Twitter page.
Anyway, there's so much more we could talk about politics, but we have to make sure that we cover all things sports. But before we get to that, Labyrinth Mystic, thanks for the $5. Going back to Fatty. You mean Dank Demoss?
Yes.
The upgrade for Fat Camel Toe is Moose Knuckle. How old was she? There's a growing list of famous fats who won't live past 40. That's a great question.
She's in her 20s.
She's in her 20s?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So I think 30 is a bit of a long shot, let alone 40.
Oh.
In any case, let's head on over to sports.
Who are these sports? You know what I'm saying? Who are these sports? Let's see who's playing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't know what to say.
And again, I think the volume's perfect on that.
Sounded good.
I love
It
those.
sounded really good.
So we did move on from politics, but only kinda, because as we head over to sports, we have to start with Bryce Mitchell. He's a UFC fighter. He also has a podcast. What could possibly go wrong?
Telling the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays.
So you're talking about Kumia's Twitter. So clearly you did give Anthony a follow.
That is fucking unbelievable.
Because this is the first time where I think that I've heard, the problem with Hitler was the meth. That's really what messed him up. He was good before then. So he's talking about the Jews trying to turn everyone gay. And in case you think that that's the end of the clip, it's not.
They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, what her first tranny surgery ever was?
I think I know.
Happened to be in Germany before Hitler took over. You know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning? You know what the books was? Queer books. Hitler burned queer books because Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce children.
But what about
Ape Shit Media with the point? He has the perfect accent for that rant. So Dana White, who is very pro free speech, and he even talks about it in some of these remarks that I have prepared here. He's in Saudi Arabia promoting a fight, but he has to talk about this. So he weighs in on Bryce Mitchell's comment.
Get started here. Let me get some fucking dumb shit out of the way first here. I'm out here, have fun doing Power Slap tonight. And I'm sure you guys heard what Bryce Mitchell said. If you haven't, he said I've heard a lot of dumb, ignorant shit in my day. but this one's probably the worst. When you talk about Hitler, he was responsible for the death of 6 million Jews, and he tried to completely eliminate a race of people.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the bad things that he did.
Right.
World War II was the deadliest war in history. 15 million military deaths, 45 million civilians, and 25 million soldiers were killed in World War II.
All right, Dana.
Second of all, Hitler is one of the most disgusting and evil human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. And anyone that even tries to take an opposing position is a moron.
Yeah, but this was because of the meth. I think that Dana's missing.
Yeah, hear him out, Dana. Hear him out.
That's the problem with the internet and social media. You provide a platform for a lot of dumb, ignorant people.
So
what's he going to do with this guy? Has he said?
Yeah. So he's not going to do anything. And he is asked that directly. He's like, no, I mean, I'm all for free speech. It's his right to say it. I don't have to like it. That's why we're talking about it. But he does then expand his position a little bit more. Dana does.
I think he's probably one of the dumbest, literally one of the dumbest human beings. Let's not forget that this is a guy who took a drill through his nutsack, then had to reverse it and put the drill back out of his. That's the level of stupid.
That's the problem when the person responding to your comments like really knows you and knows everything about you.
That we're talking about here, and I could probably go on for 10 minutes talking about how dumb Bryce Mitchell is. But guess what? Bryce Mitchell has a podcast.
I believe this was episode 1.
What a way to start.
It's not. I think it's not that dissimilar than episode 1. Of,
No. I mean, honestly, if you're supposed to get attention to get people to, I mean, more than half the country probably loves Bryce Mitchell's podcast. I think that's a great way to start your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it, and I didn't even know who Bryce Mitchell was.
No, I had no idea.
I want to let
I
want to let Dana finish up. This is a quick part.
I'll say this: out of all the dumb, ignorant shit I've heard in my life, this has to be the dumbest and most ignorant.
I mean, good for Bryce Mitchell, because you got to figure you own any kind of sporting league. You are going to hear some of the dumbest shit that people have ever heard.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, this ranks the highest.
Yes. Unfortunately, though, all of this press for Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, he's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This podcast will be very, very highly rated, I'm sure.
I mean, just imagine where his seat's going to be at JD Vance's inauguration in 2029.
He'll be on the cabinet.
Probably will. Again, we were talking about President Trump's tariffs, and yes, we're talking about sports, but here's what the problem is when you have a potential trade war between two bordering states who play each other in a lot of sports. There's a lot of examples I have, mostly from hockey, but Easy, you made sure I got this one from a Toronto Raptors game, who the Canadian fans wanted to let us here in the U.S. know how we felt during the performance of the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. Some would say the greatest song ever written. So we want to hear, and I think we all know Canadians, except for a certain potato. You have to really go out of your way to piss off Canadians this much, but let's give a listen.
Kyra Daniel.
She didn't even have the O out of her mouth. And that's the entire performance.
I think one of my favorite things about all of these is that they'll introduce the talent. The crowd's like, yeah, we love you. They make it very clear they are not attacking the talent.
Yeah. No, because when she sang "Oh Canada," they sang along, and it was actually a very rousing rendition.
Yes, yes.
But don't worry, we returned the favor just one night later. I think the Ottawa Senators were in Nashville.
Okay,
and,
good.
I'm told that that's when this was. This clip could be from any U.S. Canadian matchup in hockey,
right?
Really, any time in history. But I'm told that this is from this week. So let's hear them when "Oh Canada" starts. Oh, this is the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Although my understanding is that it was just people who were upset that there wasn't a new episode of Potato Soup last week. But I believe they'll be getting one on Thursday, so they don't have to boo Canada anymore. And what is Johnny Demonic, which is a great name? What is Johnny Demonic?
Johnny Demonic says, are you really booing the largest military in history while your only pride, the Stanley Cup, hasn't been home in 30 years?
This is really a great point. It's been a minute since they won the cup. So this next batch of clips comes from something that you sent to me, EZ. Dallas Mavericks fans are very upset. And they have every reason to be. I don't follow the NBA that closely, but I was shocked to read that morning that the Dallas Mavericks sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And Luka is a very young player. I think he's 25. Anthony Davis is in his early 30s. So I don't know. We should assume that Mavs fans are going to take it reasonably. So they gathered outside American Airlines Arena there in Dallas, where the Mavs play, and we'll hear from a few Mavericks fans.
I've been a Mavs fan my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life. This is ridiculous. This is crazy, man. We went to the NBA Finals. Why we?
Well,
ice raid. Everybody's gone.
You might notice a trend here from all these people, and I do believe that that was probably the way to clear this out.
They weren't this upset when Selena got shot.
No, that's true. They weren't.
Trading the best player, the franchise player. How are we trading the franchise player? He went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue. Hell yeah. He's supposed to have a statue. Dirk got a statue right there. It's supposed to be Luka right there.
So there's a couple things. There's a guy holding a sign that all it says is "I'm sick." Yeah. You can see it right there. Mm-hmm. And I know that this is the player that you're upset about, but wearing a basketball jersey backwards looks incredibly douchey.
Yeah, that's a strange look.
It's not. The neck isn't supposed to be all the way up here. It doesn't fall correctly.
No,
but he did get on the news for it, so I guess there's that. Yeah. Let's let him continue because he's really feeling this. By the way, this is the worst thing that ever happens in this guy's life. He's living a great life, so good for him.
Why we don't got a statue for Luka? This new management is putting profit over fans.
As opposed to every other professional sports franchise in the world, not just in the country.
Are you suggesting that they're not concerned about profit? Or that they shouldn't be, you asshole?
You mean the New York Yankees' goal isn't to make sure that everybody has fun? It's to make money. That doesn't.
Now, I mean, in all fairness, it was a ridiculous trade.
Oh, it's a preposterous trade. There's other elements to it that aren't where there's a first round pick in 2029.
Yeah, there was some talk about how he is always out of shape.
Yeah.
But that we don't care about that. All we care about is these retard fans. And notice how the chicks that are there, the one chick has a phone. She's laughing because this guy's being such a dickbag.
Yeah.
That other chick wearing the white jersey, she's like disgusted that people are this worked up about this.
Yeah, she's just doing this for Insta. She's gonna put this. She's gonna cross post it on her reels. I know I should move on to somebody else, but I like this guy's too much.
Profit over fans. Feel me? They're not worried about the fans. They don't care that we've invested 7 years of it believing in Luka, but believing in building a team around Luka. They don't care about that. They just want to make their gambling money, make a couple $100 million, and leave us stuck out here. Now we're back to square one. We're back to square zero. You feel me? It's ridiculous.
I do feel him. Back to square zero is my favorite part. People talk about how the New York Knicks and New York Rangers are particularly badly run franchises. And what I always thought was you could stop going and stop watching the teams if you want any kind of changes to happen. But hey, I feel like the next Mavs home game will probably still be sold out if I had to guess.
Right.
And Anthony Davis short term could very well help them win an NBA title, but let's just check in on a couple more people. Eric, you were talking about someone had the number for ICE, ready to touch on their smartphone.
Yeah.
I think when this guy started talking, that's probably when the call went through.
Feels like someone close to you died.
Oh, no. It's the other
away. And there's lots of anger for sure.
It is just like someone dying.
They all look like LARPers, those fucking weirdos. That's who these people are. They're all poor. They smell. They're ugly. They don't shave.
My kids were at a birthday party on Saturday, and one of the other parents was like, "What are they doing over there?" I was like, "Oh, you don't know what LARPers are?" So I had to explain what they were. And yes, there was a bit of a smell there in the park.
I hate fans are gross. What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Let's point out that Dank Demoss was going to a Lions watch party. So that's a perfect example that fans are disgusting. This is the guy I meant to show, but I like that guy too.
This Nico, they finished with my dreams, okay? And this place, American Airlines, the Mavericks, this was my safe place. And now I have nothing. Basically, they screw up the best sport thing in Dallas. I'm so sad, man, for real. I'm sad and disappointed.
Yeah, so
this fucking guy.
They're very upset. And
life's about to get more interesting for you. You're not going to have too much time to go to basketball game.
Yeah, you guys are in Texas, so you want to talk about states where they comply. Before we move on to our great moments of broadcast history, we don't do a ton of just spray the Lion in the Cup podcast. Vote for Pedro. Thank you. We don't do a lot of straight up sports highlights here on the show. Once in a while, something's too amazing for me not to show. So this is Will Cooley of the New York Rangers getting up close and personal with Alex Pietrangelo of the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
There's Cooley's hit.
Oh,
wow. Pietrangelo.
Don't worry, we've got another angle.
He was
Eric.
ready.
I love when the glove
over,
come on.
challenges him. Oh, he just finishes his hit. Pietrangelo was looking where he made the pass.
Wow.
I mean, what?
Wowzers.
Try and tell me that hockey's not a great live sport.
Wow. And then dude got up.
Yeah.
Dude got up.
He got up. His buddy takes off his gloves, and the guy in the Rangers, Cooley, just skates away.
That was amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a clean hit too.
Yeah, I mean that is the beauty of hockey. In no other sport can you even try to do that. Hamilton Burger, thanks for the $2. Demoss went to Lions watch party to eat Christians. Thank you so much. Wow, we appreciate that. So we've featured Colin Cowherd on the show a number of times. I want you to tell me what you think is going on here. When the clip starts, you're going to hear it in his voice. He doesn't sound good. But I would like to theorize. Both of us will theorize on what we think is happening here.
The Lakers are an aspirational franchise with statues everywhere in the building. And the bottom line here is I think we're going to get a more dedicated Luka. Folks, I'm going to take a break. I am getting very, very sick very, very quickly on this set, and we will return.
All right. So I need to know what you think.
I think that somebody flashed a picture of Dank Demoss. That's what happened to him.
And it was just
obvious.
a little too dank. So do you think he was going to puke? Did he actually shit himself? Maybe both ends is happening. What do you think it was?
A little wet mouth. I think he was getting ready to barf.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're in complete agreement on that. And obviously we'll be talking more sports next week. And of course, we'll be talking sports on our Super Bowl halftime show, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But I can't let the time go by without focused on the great moments in broadcast history. And you might realize that I'm having trouble finding it, but I
was just going to say, you're totally stalling. You're filibustering.
Because I at one point these were alphabetized,
Mhm.
and then I arranged them for 1 week where I was like, this is the order I'm going to use them in. So they've always been in the wrong place. But let's spend a quick moment over here in the great moments in broadcast history.
BTB, who are these broadcast history? Who are these broadcast history?
Eric, we did this show. We've done the show for a year and a half now, and I think last year we might not have commented on it. What's your thoughts on Groundhog Day?
Yeah, it's another event to pump some funds into the local economy, get drunk with the locals, have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Well, yeah, obviously the famous groundhog is Punxsutawney Phil in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. There are some wannabe groundhogs, such as Staten Island Chuck in Staten Island, which is part of New York City.
Is coming. More than 100 people were in attendance as Chuck emerged from a log at the Staten Island Zoo this morning. The groundhog did not see his shadow, predicting an early spring. But bad news for those wishing for a warm-up. Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow, signaling 6 more weeks of wintry weather.
This just blew my mind. Which one's right, Eric? Which one of these groundhogs can see the future? I don't know. Do you?
Ah, God, come on.
Well, the reason why I led off with that is I wanted to introduce everyone to Staten Island Chuck, because now we have a great moment in broadcast history. This year, Chuck looked great. 2025, everything went well. Let's go back to 2014 when newly elected New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio met Staten Island Chuck for the first time. See him here, the handler. He's up there, and he's on the glove, and oh, shit. Chuck takes a dive. They hand him back to the mayor, and the event goes on as planned. And you'd think that that's unfortunate, but there's a happily ever after. Well, there's not, because here's a story about a week later.
Later, the rodent died of internal injuries, according to zookeepers.
So, because de Blasio dropped Staten Island Chuck, he died a week later. There were internal injuries. And but if you're feeling bad, don't worry. The whole thing was even more of a sham than you thought it was.
But that death was not made public until a report in Thursday's New York Post, sparking outrage across the internet.
Okay, yeah.
Some suggested there had been a kind of cover-up. Zookeepers also revealed that the groundhog involved wasn't Chuck at all, but actually a woodchuck by the name of Charlotte.
So, this is a trans woodchuck that identifies as a male groundhog. And that is who Bill de Blasio killed. I didn't know that part of the story.
No, I didn't know. Jesus,
I did remember Bill de Blasio murdering what I thought was a groundhog. So, yeah.
A spokesman for Mr. de Blasio said the mayor was saddened to hear about the groundhog's death, but wasn't aware of it until the news story.
But it's not his first kill, so he just moved on about his day. Anyway, I wanted to end on an up note, something for the kids, Got
to keep it positive. Got to keep it positive.
And that is our show for this Tuesday. And I will remind you, as I've mentioned a couple times, we'll be back next Tuesday at the same time. But you'll also get to see us before that Sunday for the Super Bowl halftime show. And I mentioned earlier, we'll be unveiling a never-before-seen cameo from Stuttering John Melendez. Got some jokes from Jackie the Joke Man. And you'll also see some other familiar faces. So please tune in on the Who Are These Broadcasts YouTube channel to the Who Are These Broadcasts second annual Super Bowl halftime show. Eric Zane, where can people find you?
Well, if you do find me, I want you to find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Now, I'm already done with my podcast today. I do it daily. You can get the audio of that podcast or watch it on Twitch, the on-demand at Eric Zane Live, or just search my name and you'll find it. And it's very important because today, I am not kidding you. This morning, a cop was in my backyard.
Oh.
And he fired his gun.
Wow.
In my backyard. You must hear why.
I hope that Dank Demoss wasn't trying to get into your trash can, because she does live in Michigan.
This might be one of the most wild mornings I've ever had in my life. I mean, and just period of what went down in my yard. Okay,
Well,
seriously.
You did an amazing job teasing that because I never listened to your show.
I don't blame you.
But now I want to hear about that. JFK Head Chunk, $2. See you Sunday. What are your picks? It's hard to pick against the Chiefs at this point.
No, because the refs are going to cheat for them.
Yeah, and they're only -1.5. So I believe it's the Chiefs, and they're going to cover.
Right.
And I think when we do our halftime show, it might be over already at that point. But we'll have fun with it. So in any case, you can find my personal podcast, Blackcast, BLADTCAST. And make sure you check out our Super Bowl halftime show. Go to whoarethese.com to find the phone number to leave us a voicemail. I'm remembering now that we got one a couple weeks ago that I forgot to play, so I'll play it next week. That's my bad, as we say. I keep asking for them, and we finally got one, and then I'm too much of an idiot to have played it. But we'll get to that. You can find those there. I do believe this is our big one right here. So go to whoarethese.com, get the phone number, and become a premium member. Join on YouTube, get some great bonus content. But that is all the time we have for now. As always, this is Christian Bladt reminding you, every mic is a hot mic. And going back to Fatty, the upgrade for Fat Camel Toe is Moose Knuckle. How old was she? There's a growing list of famous fats who don't live past 40. And as Easy pointed out, she's in her 20s. So yes, 30's out of the question. See everybody on Sunday during halftime at the Super Bowl.